This movie was so freaking awesome. 2018 was probably the best time for anyone to be a Spider-Man fan, since everything Spidey related that happened this year has all turned out to be great. Well, almost everything. So Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse looked to me like it was pretty much going to be the cherry on top of the spider-shaped cake. Ever since I first saw Big Hero 6, I'd always dreamed of seeing an animated Spider-Man movie on the big screen. But I also really wanted to see a Spider-Verse movie, and the fact that we were going to get both in the same film, let alone the idea that it was going to focus on Miles Morales, was more than enough to get me excited. And in case it wasn't obvious from how I started this video, I absolutely loved it. In fact, I'll even go so far as to say that this is the greatest Spider-Man movie ever made. Miles Morales is a kid from Brooklyn who has a lot of ambition but can't seem to catch a break. Then he gets bitten by a radioactive spider, and of course, it gives him Spider-Man powers rather than infect him with radiation poisoning. But Peter Parker's already Spider-Man in his world, sporting blonde hair and the voice of Chris Pine, and he's out to stop the Kingpin, who has a dimension collider that can pull out people from alternate universes. After Peter gets killed, Miles encounters a deadbeat version of Peter Parker from another world, and they team up with other Spider-Men, plus 2 Spider-Women, to get them back home and restore balance to the multiverse, all while Miles learns to control his newfound powers and take on the mantle of being his city's new Spider-Man. Obviously, this is Sony's attempt at starting another Spider-Man cinematic universe, but what makes the movie work is that no matter how many versions of Spider-Man are thrown at us, it always focuses on Miles. It's all about his struggles and how he deals with them. He has a lot to lose, so you feel the pressure that he's going through. You feel the drive, you feel the motivation, and you're with him every step of the way. The other Spider-Men are utilized brilliantly as well. They all have variations of the same origin story that we already associate with Spider-Man, so the movie doesn't take too much time to explain them, and even makes a great running joke out of it. I was really excited to see these guys on the big screen, and I love how they all have something unique about them. Spider-Gwen combines her fighting skills with elements of ballet dancing, Penny Parker controls a spider mech that utilizes different weapons, and Spider-Ham is a straight-up cartoon character that can pull mallets and anvils out of nowhere. When it comes to references, Spider-Man fans are going to drown in them. There are callbacks to the comics, movies, TV shows, video games, merchandise, and even memes. The two that made the entire audience laugh the loudest were the Spider-Man 3 joke in the opening and the post-credits scene. I promise you, they are both absolutely hilarious and will make you glad to have seen them. There's no way I can talk about Into the Spider-Verse without bringing up the animation, which is easily one of the best parts of the film. It blends different styles of animation and artwork together to create something entirely of its own. It's truly unlike any other animated film I've ever seen, and I will be appalled if this doesn't win the Oscar for Best Animated Feature. The movie looks like a moving comic book. It uses the same textures and shading patterns that comics use, and combined with its bright and intensely vibrant color scheme and other visual details, it really makes the action pop off the screen. This also kind of creates a problem, however. Because the colors are so bright and the visuals are so in your face, there are instances where it might get a bit straining on the eyes, or even potentially cause seizures. The theater I saw it in might have been aware of this because they left the lights on during the first half of the movie, where some of the issues I mentioned are more apparent, particularly in the opening credits. I don't have a history with seizures, so I was able to get through it okay. Even so, I don't think it's bad enough to cause anything severely harmful, but I would still advise you or anyone with epilepsy to go into this movie with caution. Back to the animation. One of my favorite things about it is how the Spider-Men are all animated in different styles. Spider-Man Noir is all black and white, Penny Parker's done like an anime character, complete with mouth movement that doesn't match her English dialogue, and Spider-Ham is animated like a Looney Tunes cartoon with squash and stretch and a more 2D feel to him. If you thought the animation was good enough, the voice cast is just as superb. I mean, come on, you've got Nicolas Cage as Spider-Man Noir and frickin' John Mulaney as Spider-Ham. How much more perfect can you get? Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is basically the Spider-Man equivalent of the Lego Batman movie. It pokes fun at the franchise's history, but it's also a celebration of the franchise's history. It's a reminder of what makes Spider-Man so beloved and why his stories have lasted for nearly 60 years. all the praise this movie's been getting is well deserved. I'd really need to scrape the bottom of the barrel just to find even the tiniest little things to nitpick, but it's just a beautifully put together film. And for something this inventive, creative, visually pleasing, and wonderfully executed to come from Sony Pictures Animation and not be related to Hotel Transylvania is an accomplishment in itself. So, would I recommend you go see Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse? Hell yes! I love this movie, and if you're a Spider-Man fan like me, I know for a fact that you're gonna love it too, if you haven't seen it already. I'm not even gonna try to come up with a funny outro. I've got nothing else to say. Go see this movie. Go see this movie. Go see this movie. Go see it!